guest on the show today to talk about their alpha group. I'll introduce them in just a few minutes. As always, these shows are brought to you by Ninjalerts. I'll get into what Ninjalerts is in just a bit. We are going to talk about in this episode, we're going to ask them a lot of questions about their group. What Ken and I really want to know is if Degens are still making money in this bear market, because I know Ken's making money in this bear market. Would you consider yourself
Of course, I'm making money, bro. I'm glad you finally acknowledged that on air. Yes, I am making money. I'm making great plays, man. I know you've
You
been
have
following my
been.
wallet, catching those pings lately, huh?
You've been killing it,
Huh?
man. I give you applaud. You know, you need to dump
Oh, no, nah,
those
nah.
fake
I'll give myself
.og's.
applause. Thank you very much.
You need
But
to
yeah,
dump all those fake .og's while you have the chance, while there's still suckers out there. But besides that, I mean, you've been killing it, bro. Spirit Gates has been a really good play. One of the alpha groups I'm in today actually called Still Looking into Spirit Gates, and I was like, man, my man Ken minted that. It's been holding it and has been dumping it. So,
dumping it. No, I have not. I've been, strategically placing it on the markets.
yeah, man. No, I mean, for
But
real, you've been making some good trades, you know, especially for this market.
yeah, man, thank you. I do appreciate that, man. I'm glad you finally acknowledged it. Now that we're doing the 10 100 ETH challenge, I'm going to smoke the hell out of you, show you how it's really done, especially when you don't have to think about it. It's not your money. I know you're going to be very conservative with free fake money, but not I.
Have you started
Not
yet?
I. Nah, I haven't. I'm going to start today, though. I'm going
I
to
haven't
start going
either.
in heavy.
I actually brought it up to the team last night for a couple of people to participate in this. If you're not familiar with what we're talking about, we're going to come back to it. Basically, what NFT.flip, something like that. I always forget what
And
it's
then
called.
flip.xyz, bro.
Flip.xyz gives you 100 paper ETH to play with and to flip with, and there's actual prizes involved for the winners. I'm sure it's going to be manipulated, but either way, we're kind of doing it like collectively on the show, so that's fun. But yeah, so this show is brought to you by Ninjalerts. Ninjalerts is an NFT that you buy that grants you lifetime access to the app. This allows you to track your favorite whales, influencers, and friends. Every time they mint, buy, or sell something, you get a smart notification sent to your phone or to the device that you're using. We use it every day on the show. We usually look at the trends. It also gets you access to the trends page that shows you the top 1,000 wallets, profitable wallets, on what they're buying, minting, and selling. And there's a lot of other influencers and celebrities on there as well. Without further ado, we'll go ahead and just bring our guest up. It's late for them. Where they're at right now, it's
Super
early for
late.
us.
Super
Yeah, it's
late.
early for us. So let's give a warm welcome to Ash.eth and OX Alpaca.
Hey, welcome to the show, guys. How you guys doing, man? Welcome.
Hey guys, thank you for the invite.
OX Degen is in the house.
Happy
That's
to
what's
be here,
up.
man. I appreciate you guys having us on.
Oh yes, man. Welcome, man. Really glad to have you guys here, man. I've heard some things. I know this is how new is this group? Because I just started hearing more and more about it just recently. When did you guys form?
We
We're
formed
about
about 6 months ago, and we were originally in a few other groups, posting our trades and our calls in there, and then decided to go on our own route and form Zero Extinction. Yeah, just under 6 months ago now.
Cool.
Under 6 months.
So
Nice.
OXDGen is like completely new to me. Is there a token involved with OXDGen, or is it like a monthly subscription to OXDGen? Like, how does that work?
cool. So yeah, I can kind of take that question. And what we are, we're a subscription-based group, and we kind of came into a subscription-based idea was similar to like a gym membership, right? If you're paying it recurringly, you're actually likely going to be active, involved, and you're trying to get your value back, right? And we started that back in May, and it just did real well. We had over 700 people coming in. At the moment, it's $35 a month, and people come in. They're super active. I think our community is what makes it special. Everyone just vibes. Everyone's sharing alpha, talking about projects, and yeah, just like doing anything in Web3. So that's pretty much the rundown of what Xerox Degen is.
Cool. And I had this question kind of scheduled for later, but I can go ahead and ask it now. How many
Yeah.
people were actually on the team for OXDGen?
Honestly, it only started with us two. And like back when it started, what we'd do, like we would let people in manually. So after hours, we'd go to sleep and there'd be a bunch of people in the waiting room just trying to get in. But over time, we've had developed bots and stuff to let people in automatically and using like automation. But we've got some real cool people. We've got shout out to Vasm. He's a real cool guy who's part of the team as part of like a community manager. Shout out to Niles and Logan, who are our main clan managers. And then we do have a bunch of other clan managers who also round out the team. But in terms of like just the main team, it's just me and Ash, to be honest.
Okay, cool. How did both of you guys get into NFTs? Like, what was your journey like?
Sure thing. Ash, do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. So I've been full-time trading in Web3 for over 2 years now. I started out in crypto, being an absolute degen. Got absolutely wrecked back in May 2021. Lost a ton of money and was like,
Wait,
okay,
you got wrecked then? Everybody was eating in May 2021, bro. How you get wrecked?
nah, May 2021 was the crash from all the way down to 28K, the big liquidation from 40K.
Oh
But
yeah.
I got absolutely wrecked in that, lost a ton of money, and then was like, shit, all right, I need to get serious about this. Started taking a data-driven trading approach towards everything. Found NFTs, I think in early June. I was getting shelled basically by one of my IRL friends, like insanely hard, and I was like, dude, get the hell out of here. I'm not buying a picture of a fucking monkey for like go crazy. Little did I know, fast forward a month or two, I see them going up like crazy. I'm like, dude, I should have just listened to them. So anyway, I got into the space through that. One of the first real metas that I traded was the art blocks meta, which was a lot of fun. And yeah, so I'd say my trading journey in NFT started about 14 months ago.
Man,
14 months,
the
huh?
odds of having a real life friend who was into the Bored Apes at the time when they like were just getting started is crazy.
It is. Yeah, he
Man.
did really well for himself. I can say that much.
Is he still holding, or did he sell?
Nah, he sold. He sold it. Respect to him. It takes a crazy person to hold something from 1 ETH all the way to 100 ETH. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think I have that mental.
I don't either.
I would have sold it like 10, and I would have called it a day. But
Yeah.
he sold it. I think earlier this year. He sold it 367 days after he purchased it for tax purposes.
Okay. Wow, that's smart. That's super smart, man. He was waiting. He was like, "Please don't crash. Please don't crash. Wait until I get that year capital gains tax, so I can just dump this thing and get out of this yacht club." That's awesome, man. Congrats to him.
Exactly. New Zealand's got some pretty cool, or some pretty good tax laws around that. Like he didn't have to pay any tax on it at all, just because he held it for a year, which was I don't know, a benefit for him.
Isn't I'll move on from this. This is probably just a random question, but isn't New Zealand pretty strict with tax stuff?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Generally, taxes here are pretty strict. There's different brackets for capital gains, but there's sort of an unclear regulatory framework for NFTs and crypto, and it's sort of, if you've held something for more than a year, you get benefit of the doubt that you purchased it as an investment and not for the purpose of selling it. So that's sort of how that works to my limited knowledge.
Got you.
But
yeah, that's kind of how it is here as well.
Nice. I'll let Alpaca sort of talk about how you got into NFTs as well.
So I kind of, I guess, got in through a different way. I've been in Web 2, kind of in the web design and marketing side for about 5-6 years. And I loved, like, I guess, trading, but I never really found a golden opportunity to get into it. So when I discovered NBA Top Shots, that was like my first introduction to NFTs. And I was a big, like, I love NBA. So I was doing real well in NBA Top Shots. But I was like, what's the next big, like, it wasn't giving me that hit. And like how can I get more involved into it? And then I discovered ETH NFTs down in almost November, so I got in pretty late and been doing quite, like, in terms of community management and just marketing different projects and stuff, and did real well in terms of that. Ended up getting a full-time role for a Web3 agency called No Standing, and have been working with them, just learning and working with a bunch of different projects. And that's when I met Ash back in January, and we discovered we're actually really close to each other, like 10-15 minutes away from each other. And then so now we know each other in real life, and that's like it's sick, like just knowing each other. And like now build ZX Degen together. So like it's actually surreal when you realize like we met in the space.
Heck yeah, man, that's awesome. I feel like that's key too, is that you were finding positions in Web3 on top of just trading, just to have that like more consistent income. Because like trading, you could do trading full time, but I feel like it's always safer to have that like security of building and working for another company as well.
Yeah, for sure. Like, for me, I always love diversifying myself. So I love trading like that. I love the Degen side of it, but I also love doing other things and kind of keeping myself neutral and like not relying on one source, I guess.
What NBA team do you guys like in New Zealand?
I'm a LeBron fanboy, so I had to go to
Yes.
so
Hold on, you get a
yeah.
free round of applause on that one, man. LeBron all day, Lakers, man. I know Chris wouldn't know anything about that, but yeah, some
Man,
LeBron fans on here.
my last basketball game that I went to was Jordan at the Bulls Stadium in like
Jeez.
2000. Yeah, it was like
2000.
one of his last years playing. It
1999?
might have been 99. Yeah, I think it was 99. But yeah, that was my last basketball game I attended.
Wow, that's a long
Yeah,
time, man.
Yeah.
Wow, they're telling us to tell you guys to dox or get off the screen, bro.
Yeah, I don't ideally don't have a camera right now because I'm on my PC. It's the funniest thing because sometimes I'll be in like Web2/Web3 meetings, and yeah, it's funny going in with like, because I used to have like a Pepe PFP, but now I've got the Kaiju, so it's a bit better, but it still takes a while explaining to Web2 people.
I know what to
Yeah.
name this. I know what to title the video now. I'm gonna say that Ash and Alpaca dox themselves on NFT Traders Club. Yeah.
Oh my god.
That get a bunch of clicks.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we might dox next time, guys. Tune in next time and you might see it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know WGMI. They're a NFT tool that's like a portfolio tool.
Mhm.
But
Yep.
Tomo actually doxed on our show in February, like for the first time
Wow.
fully doxed. And now they like run. They have their own show that they run now too. So that was pretty cool and pretty big honor. I'm gonna ask a question specific to the group. I saw that you guys do live streams and like trading streams. So I'm assuming that these aren't docs. I guess you're like sharing your screen. Like, how often do you guys do these? And like, can you give us like an example of like what that looks like?
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, the streams are, less frequent these days, but that's mainly due to, the market. We only really will, and when we're streaming, it's more so just, live streaming and analytics tool like NFT Nerds, because not a lot of people have it in our Discord. And so, if we stream it, then everyone can keep up to date with, real-time data and what's happening. But yeah, we just like to sort of hop on streams. If anyone's got any questions, we go over them, answer them. Yeah, but the streams aren't too frequent anymore. But whenever something good pops up, we'll hop on stream and hop on a call.
No, yeah, live streaming in a tool is a really good idea. For that way, not everybody has to spend a couple ETH to get the tool. That they can all kind of like share the data together. That's a good idea.
Exactly. Yeah.
Do you guys have alpha color at OXDGen, or is everybody for themselves?
So to an extent, this is an interesting topic. For us, we don't really I guess, subscribe to the whole narrative of alpha cores per se. We don't like to have people, because I mean, a lot of the popular and famous alpha cores, right? They're calling in 20 different Discord servers, and the chance they might be calling in your Discord server last, and so the difference in time from when they posted it in the first server to when they posted it in the last server, which could be ours, we don't know, is so it might only be a minute, right? But that's enough time for everyone else to get in and the price to go up by a significant amount. So what we do in terms of alpha calls, we have it all sort of in-house. We only let people post who we've been able to see for a series of months make consistently profitable trades by themselves, and we sort of let them post, and it's sort of an organic community thing where we it's just people from the community sharing alpha, and it's mainly mints, honestly. In this current market, trading secondary is a lot more risky. It's not as plus EV as it used to be, sadly. But yeah, it's all sort of done in-house for us.
Oh, nice, nice. You guys got a lot of fans. They're just blowing up our chat
Yeah,
over
and
here,
that's
man. It's
I
hard to
guess
keep
that's
up. Oh
that's
my
the
god.
unique thing is like that's why we don't have the alpha core is like the community is the alpha, and like you don't really need an alpha caller because the community is looking like the number of eyes we have in Web3 and looking at projects that basically makes up for not having like official alpha callers, and then like Ash said, like we see people doing well, we'll promote them, give them a special role, and then if they're sharing, someone sees that role and kind of takes it with a bit more seriousness, right? So yeah, like that's I think the mindset we're going in with like our group.
Somebody said we were paid to be here. Yeah,
Yeah, they're paid actors.
that's
They're paid
funny, dude.
actors.
Shout out to your community, seriously, for showing up during the video. Like that shows how strong of a community that you guys have. That people are whatever time it is on their zone, because it's early for us, late for you guys. That made it a point to be here. What went into like establishing that strong community? Because that's got to be organic. You know, it's obviously not like a well, you know, unless you did pay them to be here, like. Got some strong bots, or you got some strong bots going.
Oh,
You know,
AI
Honestly, I think the main thing was like when we first got into the space, like we were just in a bunch of different groups and sharing like I guess calls and out trades, right? But what I found was like a lot of people post these calls, but they don't follow up, provide context, or actually interact with the communities, right? And that's something where we found a real good niche, and we were just super transparent. Like if we got wrecked, we'd explain why we got wrecked. If we did well, we'd explain what went well, right? And like doing those VCs, and I think curating that community vibe was really important in those early days. And I think it's just pretty much become that snowball effect of everyone comes in, like anyone new as well, like they pretty much start like developing those same values. So yeah, I think it's something special, and like it's something where it's like it's there's no really one set way like that. I wish I could tell you like this is the secret sauce to building it, because there've been so many people that ask is like how do you get so many people talking at once, and how do you get this much engagement, right? Like we've been on other alpha call service and it's like really nothing, because like so that's I think something special for sure.
No, yeah, that's huge. Just one quick comment on that is like I'm in a couple alpha calls or a couple like alpha group servers, and like one of the things that like I guess kind of annoys me, especially for the ones that are like paid or token gated, is like I'll ask a question and it'll be sitting there for a day, you know, and it's like
Exactly.
it's a little uneasy for somebody who's like paying to like essentially be helped, you know, and then you wait 24 hours for somebody to respond. So it's definitely great to have a strong community.
Oh, 100%. I think it's almost just a byproduct of sort of, I think in a lot of, communities, you sort of have the founder step away and they sort of, outsource most of the trading and alpha calling and stuff like that to a lot of other people. Whereas Alpaca and I are still, active in there all day, every day. That sort of it hasn't stopped for us. We've got the same work ethic since when we started. And it's just, a byproduct of everyone, being in there for so long and just getting really acquainted with each other and friendly. Like, I'd honestly say there's probably not many other groups that have sort of the level of just like like, and it sounds a bit cliche and, but like, the level of like friendship that everyone has between each other in the community, like everyone knows each other well, pretty much. I'd say we know where 90% of the people are who talk in the chat, where they like, what country they're from, a bit about them. And so, yeah, like I'd say that's probably what makes it so engaged and organic.
And
So
here's like
Alpaca.
this is a
Oh,
crazy
go ahead.
stat. Like we have over 2 million messages over like the past 4 months that we've been paid. And like when you look at that, that's like 16K messages a day, which is crazy. Like because this we only have one like main channel, and I think that was also key. Like minimizing channels, like having information flow in the most efficient way was key as well. Because having one chat channel means if someone asks a question, someone answers it, and I think that was real cool.
So you mentioned Alpaca just a little while ago. You mentioned about getting wrecked. Let's get more details about this. When have you got wrecked? And give us a little more information about the project you went into.
I think that was who was the Ash? Yep.
That was me. Yeah. So
You said,
back
oh,
in May
I thought it was
2021, that
alpaca.
was. I think if I was talking about May 2021, that was me. I didn't get wrecked on any
No,
specific.
no, that was just now. It was alpaca. You was
Oh,
talking
my bad.
about the community. You guys get wrecked. You tell them why you guys got wrecked. I just wanted to
Oh,
know
sure thing.
specifically when you got wrecked and why you got wrecked.
For
Yeah,
sure. I mean, for example, like mint projects, right? Like this iconic one in our server. I'm gonna give a shout out to Rat Gang. Like you'll see people reply to it. Like you just call a project, everything looks good, but like at the end of the day, if it doesn't move, you're screwed, right? Like because you're kind of looking for indicators on a mint that it's gonna do well, and sometimes it might not do anything, right? It mints out, and then it's just silence, right? So I think is like where like we embrace getting wrecked, and it's like getting wrecked is like just part of the cycle. Like you're not gonna be 100% profitable like trader. Like there's always gonna be trades where like you're gonna take a loss on, and I think making people like realize that, and also like no one's gonna like become a millionaire in like 30 days unless like you hit some crazy shit, right? So just being realistic, I think, in terms of trading, especially for new people, is so important. So yeah,
Bro, this your community is funny as hell.
pies is a very
Yeah, say Ash only buys the top.
Yeah, I was just laughing about that.
Yeah, and this guy is saying ADA is gonna go to 1K next year, bro. You guys are nuts. Yo, nuts. It's
Silly,
so
but
funny.
I love
Uh,
this guy.
what about you? Tell us, give us any details of when you got wrecked recently. We're gonna talk about the major wins you guys have in OXDJ, and I just want to start with the lows first.
Yeah, we just brought you on to talk about the losses. You know,
yeah.
help you guys
We love
spread
that.
the word.
For me, I haven't really taken any massive losses since I started getting quite serious about trading and taking a very systematic approach to everything. I would say the biggest loss was May 2021. I was all in a bunch of shitcoins. Like I pretty much was as far out on the risk curve as you can go. Like all that, like now looking back at my bags back then, I'm like, what was I doing? Like at the absolute top, or not, maybe not the absolute top, but like close enough to it in May 2021. I was still buying, terrible altcoins with like no fundamentals, but the chart looked good, so I was like, oh yeah, I'll take a gamble. And I got really badly wrecked on then, but I'd say it's kind of a blessing in disguise. It made me get a lot more serious about what I'm doing, and I think that if I didn't get wrecked as badly as I did, I probably wouldn't have been as motivated to turn stuff around and consciously improve my trading to the level it's gotten to now.
Hey man, my first $1,000 I made in crypto, I threw it all into a shit coin and lost it all.
I love that.
Yeah, it was good times, man. Good times. Rest in peace, corgi coin.
Oh no,
Corgi coin. Oh my God, Chris, that's what you into?
It was
It's a
like,
corgi coin.
bro, like I had this guy like in like January of 2021 that was like, you need to buy SHIB, and this is like when SHIB was like so insanely low. Like this would have been the time to like 100x SHIB, and I faded it, and then like Doge took off, and a little bit later Shiba took off, and I was like, all right, well maybe another dog coin will have a chance to like kind of follow that pace, and just got totally rugged by the founder of Corgi. It was like Corgi, Husky, like a couple of other tokens like came up that time, so I just threw it all into one of those, and then the founder rugged.
Was Husky the one on Avalanche?
Yeah, Husky I think is on AVAX.
I was in that as well.
I never did touch Husky, which that I think ended
Oh,
up.
you guys are rug brothers, bro. He was in that
No,
too, Chris.
Husky ended up having a few pumps. Like it actually lasted longer. Corgi
A
was a
couple of
straight up
pumps.
rug. Like the founder literally posted on Reddit that he used all the money to go buy heroin and that he's not going to do anything else with the product. I'm serious, dude.
Heroin. Wow.
It was so bad, man. And like he stopped posting to Corgi, started posting to like heroin subreddits. It was awful.
Oh,
no.
damn.
I guess tis the way with these shitcoins sometimes, I guess.
All right, so now that we've gone through you guys' lows, tell us about the highs, man. Give us some success stories from OX Degen server. Like, what calls have you guys made recently that kind of just blew out of here?
I'd say like our specialty is going for very mints which other people might not have caught on. So in the early days, like back before when Goblin Town, we actually called Goblin Town, right? Like that was super obvious, but like we all sold like Degens at like 0.05, 0.1, right? Because we were like, what the fuck is this? And it was so weird. So like those was some of our recent ones have been. What was the project yesterday, Ash?
Garden, something. Garden, I forget. We trade so many things there.
So that garden deeds thing you said was a real good call. I think O hit that, and almost everyone on the server that was awake almost minted that, and that hit almost like 0.06, 0.07, and like that was real satisfying. I think our best like a win for me is when a lot of people get in into a project and they're able to profit from it rather than like one person being able to like mint 100. So that's where it's like our biggest like ethos in that. Some of the Degen shit that we minted have been like eggs, just like blank NFTs. There was like Wag Die was real cool. There's so
Okay.
many. Like I'd have to just look through my wallet just to see what we flipped.
Yeah,
How
and
long
just
do you
to,
guys go ahead?
oh, I was just gonna say, just to quickly add to that, I feel like in recent times, what's considered a cook is vastly different to what was considered a cook, let's say like 3 months ago, because the meta has shifted so much towards people botting mints. When something goes to 0.01, somebody can make one ETH off that very easily, right? Because they can, use their bot to mint on 100 wallets. They're making 0.01 on 100 different wallets as one ETH. So I guess by those standards, we're maintaining consistent profitability. But in terms of those home run plays, there's not really too many that have popped up recently. I mean, there's, you got your standard Renga, Digi. Before that, the low supply things like Hoshi Boshi, all those sorts of trades, and catching one of those, that's awesome. But in this current market, it's a lot harder to come by. So we just sort of try and aim for consistent profitability of like micro profits on scale with these degen mints is probably our niche at the moment, I'd say.
Yeah, and in
Oh,
terms of success stories, like our members have some amazing success stories. Like there's one real cool one that hit me, and I still remember is this guy trying to make enough money so he can go to Canada and see his grandmother. So he was living in Philippines, and it
is
took
that real or is
no. This
it
is
sounds like a
genuine. Like
bullshit
no, it's genuine. Like because he sent me pictures of like him visiting his
pictures,
grandmother and
huh?
thing.
From
It's
Google?
crazy. No,
With the
no,
green
like
thing.
like literally, because he'd be sending me trading updates every day, like in the DM,
Oh,
like
okay.
what he was
Okay.
doing, and like because all I was doing was just like helping him, like in terms of feedback, where he could do better and stuff, right? And I think that was something very iconic, where he was so dedicated to like flipping his way to buy that plane ticket, to go visit his grandmother and everything, and there's like so many other stories like that in the server where like these people they have these goals, and like for us like it might not be as much, right? But for them, it means a lot.
Yeah, did he tell us more about that story? Did he ever get the plane ticket or what?
He did, he
Like,
did, he did. He's actually going back to Philippines recently because I talked to him, I think, last week. But yeah, he's a member in the server. He's a real cool guy, and yeah, just like a ton of those people. Like, there's another guy. He was from Sri Lanka, and what he was making more from flipping, than just his day job, which is real. Surprising. Like that's where like I think NFTs have been real life changing for a lot of people because they're making more from just like flipping, trading, or just being in Web3 than just trying to get a job in Web1 or just like from their day jobs.
oh, nice. Uh, so give us how long does it usually take you guys to hold? What's your hold times? Do you guys sell quickly or you guys hold for a little longer than that? I know this is a DGen server, but
Flip and
how
dip.
long do you guys wait? What? What'd you say?
No, we flip and dip, but I'll let Ash kind of go over because he's been more active in trading recently.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it depends on the project, right? If it's something that's like, Ringa Ape Yacht Club, it's some shitty derivative, we're gonna get out with whatever profit we can, because we know that the lifespan of that project is pretty short-lived. And a lot of the projects we tend to trade, on a daily basis, there isn't much quality stuff popping up. So mostly, I'd say pretty short-term holds. But there's definitely, some stuff that we go into which we're prepared to hold for a longer period of time. Stuff like Genuine Undead, projects like that. And we sort of, I'd say it just varies project to project.
Okay. Do you guys use bots?
Yes. It's sort of like I used to not use a bot for the longest time.
Yeah, morals. Is that why or no?
I mean, well,
You started seeing money.
to an extent, I was trading secondary for a long time, pretty much exclusively. Of course, I'll catch a mint if it's there, but I was never really, it's a lot more time intensive to be, on degenmint.xyz every day, or on whatever mint monitor you choose to use, and constantly following it, because a lot of these things, right, they'll pop up and then in 5 minutes from then they're minted out. So you've really got to be active. So yeah, I was exclusively secondary trading for a long time. But then now that the opportunity to, make decent money on secondary trading is sort of, I'd say, died down a little bit more, I have, switched to minting, and yeah, using a bot now is kind of the only way to make meaningful
Money.
profits for me now.
Yeah. What if you don't mind telling us, what bots do you use? Because we have different bot creators on the show. Like the guy from Mintech was here. We had another one like a while back. I don't really remember the name right now, but which bot do you generally use on a regular?
I've tried a lot of them, but currently I'm using NFT Thunder.
Thunder, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. It's great. Like, I'd say it's probably one of the best bots that is out right now. But there's, more cost-efficient options like NFT Sensei, which, doesn't have a monthly renewal fee. Stuff like Meta Sniper, which has a lower monthly renewal fee, and even Mintech. I know K-Tech, the founder that you guys had on. Good guy. Yeah, I listened to that podcast for a little bit. I use Thunder right now, but most of the top ones, they generally all serve the same purpose with minor, maybe not minor, but sort of the performance only sort of alters when it comes to, running tasks on very hyped mints. Stuff like, there's a mint called Infernals, which is a stealth drop that's supposed to happen sometime within the next few hours. And if you're using
till 5 p.m., right? Well, Eastern Standard, right? I heard about that one.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure when it is. I've got my tasks set up and I'm running it for that. But stuff like that, that's where, the type of bot you're using will make a difference. But in terms of stuff like, running quick tasks on a random mint that popped up, they all generally serve the same purpose. And I'd say it's more about your node than it is about the bot specifically that you're using.
So next time you guys come on, you're gonna have to one of you are gonna have to sacrifice some docs, because we had a lot of people today asking to see some faces, a lot of excited community members. I do want to take this time real quick to plug two things. One, if you enjoy this type of content and you're here, feel free to subscribe to the channel or like the video for the YouTube algorithms. We do this every week, Monday through Thursday, usually at 1 p.m. Eastern time, but we can adjust for different guests. Really appreciate the community for showing up. Two, exciting thing for the community. I know you guys have already announced it over your Discord, but you are getting codes for a free trial at Ninjalerts, which gives you access to Ken, am I right in saying it gives you
Yes, it does.
That was loud as hell. But yeah, it gives you access.
You up, Chris.
It gives you access to wake, bro, to all the features. And this isn't a plug. This is just to kind of like show you like what that means is I feel like it's gonna be fun for your community because you can actually follow like certain wallets. Like I already added ash.eth, I already added yours, so now I'm following you. So you can like curate your own feed. That way anytime like you know who, as soon as they sell something, as soon as they buy something. But it's pretty fun as like communities to like follow each other, because you can add an alert. And like I said, I have Ash's right here. So if I were to remove it, I name it. I can choose whether I want to follow your buys, mints, or sells. And that way you can roast each other or praise each other every time you make a good play, like the second you do it. Like Ash, if you were like acting like you were listening to us, but you're like minting while on the show, I would totally call it out. It's happened before. several shows. But there's also like a trends page that shows you the most minted, most bought, most sold, and you can kind of click and see like the what ranking the traders are. Again, I'm not saying this to shield Ninjalerts. I'm saying this because you actually are going to have free trials to this, so you might as well take advantage of it while you have it. So shout out to that partnership for being able to put that out.
Yes,
sure,
most
man.
definitely.
Yeah.
I use
Thank you so
Ninja-
much for
I
you
was,
guys.
Yeah, thank you. I was gonna say I used Ninjalerts before the partnership anyway.
Oh, cool.
It's
Nice.
in terms of Discord webhooks wallet trackers. I found that it's and I mean this sounds like a paid show, but I found that it's the fastest one. It really is. Like in terms of getting that notification through to Discord and getting that ping, I haven't compared to Moby, to Icy, to Nansen, I haven't found one that's faster yet.
Nice. Yeah, and that's I think like the goal, as being somebody part of the team is like that speed and that accessibility and like the interface, like, of standing out differently to other projects in the field. But yeah, I hope that the community enjoys it and has fun with each. Like as Ken and I follow each other, and we always kind of either praise or roast each other while on the
Well,
show.
no, I mean, I was roasting the hell out of you, Chris, but then you started using burner accounts because I was roasting you every day on the show, bro. Now we don't know where his burners are now because his main account doesn't make any moves anymore. But yeah, he was like, when Vitalik had that boner, he had every collection to every derivative that was ever made of Vitalik's boner. He had it in his burner, but he won't share his burner wallet with us.
Hey,
I
man.
wish I could say that.
I'm a collector, bro. What can I say?
Oh my god, collector.
I got like 4 different Vitalik boner derivatives in my hidden folder as well, so you're not alone.
Hey, I'm not alone on that. Like, why did that not take
I wouldn't admit
all,
that.
all the BS that takes off and his boner doesn't? Like, it just, come on.
Oh man.
I mean, to be fair to him, he did give us a pretty accurate price prediction with that photo. If you notice in the picture,
No, don't do it. Don't.
I
No,
saw-
I'm talking
I
about
saw
the
the
chart. No,
I saw the TA breakdown.
Yeah, it was a falling wedge.
I love it. Do you guys have any projects you're looking forward to that are coming up?
Infernos.
Any live alpha to give us on the show?
Infernos.
I mean, surely there's the obvious ones like Valhalla, Undefined. Some of those projects will be very interesting. I think we're going to see that gaming meta come in. Like the application meta is going to be super interesting. I think it makes it harder for new people, but if you're confident in terms of writing applications and just bullshitting your way in those applications, those will be pretty good.
I have no tolerance for that crap, bro.
So it'll be
None.
interesting to see how those do, like in terms of applications. So yeah, I'm interested to see what happens there.
So you do believe there's an application meta that is currently in effect?
I think it's already in effect. Like there's been a bunch of projects that are just doing applications only now. I think I've seen at least like 5 or 6 now, where you have to apply and that invite mechanism. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see like how that gets adopted. Like, is that going to become the new norm or something? So yeah.
And I think it's actually pretty it's pretty smart because, I mean, if you make somebody from like a project founder perspective, right? If you make somebody go and fill out a whole damn form, write a 300-word essay or whatever, when it comes time to mint it,
That's Chris.
let's say that they get accepted. When it comes time to mint it, the likelihood that that person mints it is a lot more because they've already sacrificed previous time to get that whitelist. So in general, the chance for the project to mint out or for project success is probably a lot higher if you curate those applications.
Yeah, bro, I can confirm for sure because I'd much rather write a 300-word essay than do the squats that I did for one of the
don't call it squats. Don't call it squats.
One of the allow lists that I got a couple months ago.
And
let me tell you, I'm a father of 2. I'm super out of shape, man. I couldn't walk for 2 days, so you best believe I was one of the first ones to mint that project that ended up being a rug, anyways. One of the first.
Nah, he's downplaying it. He was popping his back. He was popping his back for whitelist. is, bro. He won't share the video. We've been looking. Risky and I has been trying to find that video of him popping his back for whitelist.
Oh yeah, you also
but
had
he
to record
won't.
yourself doing it. Yeah, that was a
Yeah,
good
he
time.
had to send it in. This dude is wild, bro.
So yeah, I like the application meta, man. I just BS something and send it out there and hope I get accepted.
Yeah, that's about most of us, I'd say. I don't think anyone answers those applications honestly. I think they're just all trying to make themselves sound like, the best they can.
Yeah, I'm not a fan, man. I mean, I like how it thwarts out the bots. I know NFT Thunder is not gonna like that, but other than that, I don't want to apply for a real job. What makes you think I want to apply to buy something, bro? I'm applying to buy your JPEG.
Fiverr Marketplace is gonna thrive. The amount of people gonna like hire like essay writers. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's pretty funny.
That's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, but that's a little too much for me, man. I have a lightning question for both of you. Which one do you think has a better upside, Doodles or Azukis?
Oh, good question.
Azuki, based on
Azuki.
purely speculation, if he steps down.
Yep, I'd say
if Zagabond drops.
I like that.
That will be the biggest catalyst, I think, for that to move.
Yeah, and I mean, Doodles, like, I know that they're, trying to be one of the more innovative blue chips in the space by introducing like like individually tradable traits for their doodles. But I think to be fair, I don't actually follow blue chips too closely, so I'm probably not the most educated person to speak on this. But I think that Doodles sort of brand is more gonna be like, in terms of like price, I don't think they're gonna go up as much because they're probably more like, they seem more focused on building out the brand and maybe launching an 100K collection for Doodles 2 or whatever, and stuff like that. And I think there'll be dilution amongst the Doodles ecosystem, whereas Azuki, I don't think that will be the case as much.
I mean, we already have duplicators and the boxes.
Exactly, yeah. And so I'd say, also purely based on speculation, short-term upside, I'm saying Azuki. We already saw them run a little bit based on that speculation before. But yeah, I'd probably just pick Azuki, yeah.
So you said that you're not big on any blue chips. Are you long on any projects? Like, is there any projects that you're willing to hold for over a year?
Good question. To be honest, not really. I'd say their own, like, I don't look at anything with a time horizon longer than sort of 2 to 3 months at max usually. I think that the space can change so quickly, and to sort of form an investment thesis for that long of a time horizon is I just don't do that. But I would say my small brain, the profile picture I've got right now, I'd be pretty comfortable holding this for a year. But that's only because it's not that expensive anyway. But I think in general, Arbitrum NFTs will do pretty well. And it might take a while for that to happen. But I think once, the next stages of the merge take place and we see a lot of like transactional volume shift onto layer 2s like Arbitrum, I think then NFTs on Arbitrum will get pretty big. And Small Brains is sort of the, I guess you could say, poster child of Arbitrum NFTs. So I can expect them to appreciate in price probably over a year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, pretty much same sentiments as like Ash. Like, I think blue chips are still in price discovery because like, what really are you getting value out of it? Like, the only thing I think right now, the biggest thing is that networking side, right? Like, if someone has like a Moonbird or one of those blue chips, like, you're like, oh, this guy's rich, right? Straight away. Or like, this guy's somewhat influential, right? But I think that's the only benefit because everything you're getting is like, you're getting more NFTs basically from it, right? And you're hoping these NFTs give back the equal value that you've invested in. So yeah, I think it's more of like wait and watch and see which projects kind of develop a healthy cash flow. So yeah.
Yeah. Any project?
Would you?
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you were talking.
Yeah, I was gonna say, sorry. Any sort of project that can develop external cash flow outside of directly selling NFTs is probably a good bet, because most NFTs, like, they just try to monetize they're just trying to monetize the community. They're trying to get them, hey guys, we've got a generation 2 mint, come mint this and give us more money, like this is your utility kind of thing, and I don't think that's really how it should be. I think one of the main sort of avenues for external revenue that these projects can get is sort of something that Pudgy Penguins is doing, where their founder, Luca Netz, he's super big in the e-commerce space. He's real smart guy, super onto it. He's sort of exploring the avenue of like plush toys, right? And turning Pudgy Penguins into a much more well-known brand, like outside of NFTs, and launching plush toys where maybe the holders of a Pudgy Penguin get royalties on every one of every plush toy that they've sold. Oh, cool! Got a V Friends as well. That's exactly it. I saw Gary V's recent announcement actually. Stuff like that is something that I'd be more comfortable holding as well.
The Macy's announcement where he's also doing plush toys at Macy's.
Really?
It's a pretty good.
And Toys R Us, yeah.
Yeah, that was the recent announcement. He's selling V Friends Series 2 IP at Macy's, so that'd be a good, exactly what you just explained, a good extra cash flow. And I couldn't agree more that these projects need separate cash flows. I think some of them are figuring it out. We actually had the privilege of having Zeneca on the channel a week or two ago, and he was talking about, for like his project, Zen Academy, doing what's the word for it, Ken? Not counseling, but like
Consulting
as like a side business for like money, and then content. I think content's a really good side business for projects as well, because eventually content can produce partnerships, can produce sponsorships, and some types of monetization. So I think some projects, aka Ninjalerts, is doing good on that too.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, content's another massive avenue, right? And that's one of those niches which is really untapped. It's like a gold mine in Web3. Like, I think the first mover advantage for people doing content like yourselves is going to be like massive once we see a good amount of people flow into NFTs, right? Once we sort of get closer to mass adoption. I think the people who are working hard now and making content will really thrive in that environment.
Yeah, yeah, all this sounds good and all, but then like all these physical avenues, everything they're doing physically is not making our floor price go up though. How about that? What's going on? Like, they raise VC funding, they're making plush toys, they're making robots in real life, but yet the floor price is still down. What, like, how do you satisfy the holders? Are holders consumers in that aspect then?
I mean, I think that's the main thing, right? Is like that price discovery thing is like the floor maybe shouldn't be valued that much, right? It needs to drop significantly. For now, basically, it's realistic for the floor price to increase when these external like cash flows and like these external things start happening, right? Because right now, like if you see a V-Friends at Macy's, right, they might want to buy a V-Friends, but they see it's like $5,000 or something, right? They'll be like, "Why the hell am I going to buy this?" Right? I'm like, it's not right. So that's where it's like we need to find the equilibrium of what are these, like, what's the actual value of these projects.
Yeah, well said. Tell us about this Aqua Story that your community keeps mentioning.
Oh no!
Is that a real thing, or is
there's so many stories? Each member has a story.
Yeah, so like I feel like you guys have got to.
Is it like censored or something? Like you
no,
can't say it on.
It's really PC friendly. But if you search up on OpenSea here, let me try and get the link for you as well, just because I feel like the story won't really make as much sense if you can't see it.
Unless we pull it up, okay.
Yeah. 1 second. It's called Yish Lang Pi. Can somebody in the Discord please link it to me? I know you guys are listening. Someone link me the pies. But basically, there was this absolute crap. I mean, I say it's crap now, but I mean, it did pretty well. These pies minted, and they were like, it was like 1,000 photos of like just this random pie, and we all like laughed at it because it was just so out, like it was so out of the ordinary. It was so random, and we thought like it was pretty funny, and we were all just like joking about it, right? Like, and it somehow minted out. And we were like, okay, we're not going to touch this, like, screw this thing. But we all just, like, for some reason, found it so funny that they did well. Yeah, I've just found them. I'll put it in our Discord chat. 1 second.
Sent in the pro. Yeah.
There you go. And yeah, anyway, we found it so funny. If you have a look at them, you can see like at first glance, you'd be like, why? Who was minting these? Who was buying these? Yeah, there you go. That's the one. And yeah, anyway, they ended up running to 0.3, and Aqua bought one at 0.02, and we were all just joking, calling him an idiot and whatnot. And yeah, they ended up mooning. Went to, I think 0.45 at the top at one point, which is pretty funny. But yeah, we still don't understand them at all. They're just photos of pies, but it's become a pretty renowned meme in our community.
That's pretty funny.
Really? Wow. So people was paying all this just for the pie?
I know. I don't get it, man.
What the hell is this?
Honestly, I wouldn't tell you. It's like degeneracy at its finest, I'd say.
Wow. So as Degens, what do you guys look at in a project before you mint that you think it might be a success? Like, what are your criterias? What steps, what boxes does it have to check off for you guys?
Alpaca, do you want to talk more about the fundamental side and I'll cover the technicals?
Yeah, for sure. I think the main things, like if I see a mint that pops up on IC Tools or Ninjalerts, right? I want to go look at the project. Okay, so what's the Twitter page like? And does it look super botted? How old is it? Like, have they even put in the effort to have some content there, right? If that checks off, now let's check out the website, right? I mean, some don't have websites and still do quite well, but having a website just shows that they went that extra mile. Is it like your copy paste kind of just template, or is it like a functional website where they've put in a lot of effort? Seeing that and then actually looking into the project itself, like what are like the buzzwords it has, and like is this something a lot of people you think might actually go into, right? And if those things tick off, and then you want to start looking at Etherscan, seeing how far, what's the supply, is the project actually not stolen? So just doing a simple Google search, right? Sometimes like you'll be surprised how many projects are stolen and still start running because no one's bothered to just Google check, right? And it profounds you sometimes, like, holy shit, this is stolen out, but it's still running. But being aware of that, and then if everything checks off, then you go in and mint, right? I think those are my biggest things. And you also want to, like, ideally look like, hey, are there, like, notable brickers and notable, like, dumpers in the project, right? We're not going to name anyone, but
that's my next question, bro. Who? Name some name, bro. Name somebody, because we've had some brickers on this show before.
Yeah. But like, yeah,
I'd say.
You can keep going. You can keep. It's fine.
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah. Just sort of on the technical side, you're looking at like one of the main indicators for like me to even bother to look at something is pending transactions. Because that obviously means that it's gonna, it's time sensitive. I've got to look at it quickly and do a quick analysis. So I'll quickly jump onto DJ Mint. I'll see what's got pending transactions. I'll have a look at those pending transactions to make sure that they were sent recently and they're not, artificial and fake, because a lot of projects will send, 50 pending transactions, but if you look on Etherscan, they've all got like the gas price is 1 gwei, and they've been pending for 20 minutes. And there's a lot of tricks which devs use nowadays to try and fool people into minting their projects, like stuff like they'll mint 9,900 NFTs out of 10K to make it look like it's just about to go out of stock, but the mint price will be 0.05 or something. So they're just hoping that 100 people mint those last ones for 0.05 kind of thing. But sorry, I was getting a bit off topic. But for other stuff that I look at, I want to see a decent holder distribution. Like normally 1 or 2 per wallet is good. 3 per wallet can run 50%. As well. Yeah, sort of anywhere from 30% minimum, 50% is pretty good. As Alpaca said before, I like to see who's going into it. That's a big thing for me is, if it's, been posted in some of the more well-known communities that, all use bots and all use 200 or 300 wallets, that the likelihood that once the project goes on to mints out and goes onto secondary, it's just going to be dumped for micro profits is pretty high. And so like figuring that stuff out in a timely manner before you mint is always pretty good, because it just gives you a good understanding of, when you should realistically be looking for an exit. Because if no botters get into it, right, and it like something like garden, whatever it was, or I forget, garden throwaway or something, which minted yesterday. It was a signature mint, which meant you could only mint it from the website, so bots couldn't get into it at all. So instantly, that's like a really good sign for us, because we're like, okay, perfect. The supply is actually evenly distributed, because even if something's, you can only mint one per wallet. If you've got a bot, you can still mint 300 of them, right? And you can just transfer them all to the same address afterwards and list them from there. So the fact that it was a website only mint was, a really good sign for us. It obviously means that the secondary activity is going to be a lot more organic. There's going to be less like immense sell pressure. There's not going to be walls of 20 NFTs popping up below the floor, stuff like that. But yeah, that's sort of some of the stuff we look at before going into a mint.
Okay. Oh, cool. So, I wanted to just change the topic real quick. A little bit harder question. Now, the merge just happened with Ethereum 2.0. Now, which out of these two, already know your answer, Ash. Which out of these two, Polygon or Arbitrum, if one of them had to die, which one would it be? I already know your answer.
Polygon,
for it,
I'd say. I see like Polygon is being picked up by Web2 companies. Like from a marketing point of view, I'm seeing more like high-end brands and stuff utilize Polygon. So I can see the value in that. Arbitrum hasn't been used in terms of mass market yet as much. Like it's still very Web3 native. Like if I was to go ask someone like in terms of companies and stuff, they don't really know about Arbitrum. But Polygon, I've seen like there was there's been some very high end clothing brands that have used Polygon to launch the NFTs, and I think that's what like a lot of companies are familiar with. So maybe Arbitrum. I'm gonna have to go against Ash on this.
Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I just look for, you're dead right. Like Web2 companies, for some reason, they love Polygon. They all want to use Polygon. I think the connections behind the scenes that Polygon has are second to none. They've got insane VC funding. They've got partnerships out the gate. They are superior to Arbitrum and Optimism in that sense by a mile. But I do think that the most important metric to look at is where are the developers going? Like, where is significant developer activity happening? And there's really not that much of it on Polygon versus Arbitrum. Like, I mean, there is a decent amount, but if you look at it sort of proportional to the amount of users on the chain, Arbitrum has a lot more developer activity, and I'd say most crypto native people, sort of if they were to use it at layer 2, I'm gonna go for Arbitrum. Yeah, I'd probably pick Matic to die or Polygon to die.
Okay. I do have just one last question though. Earlier you mentioned about Degen Mint. Are you referring to degenmint.xyz? Is that where you get information?
Yeah, that's the one that I use personally. There's a bunch of other Mint dashboards, but I've found them to have the most comprehensive, dashboard, which shows me everything that I need to know. I wish they'd, get their data a bit more real time, but at the moment they're probably the best in the market.
So they're currently trying to get away from the Degen part of their name. They're currently going through a name change because they feel having the word Degen in their name is kind of a negative to them. That at least that's what they're saying right now. Would you guys ever go away from the OX Degen name?
It's a good question. I do think that it hinders brand development in some sense, because if you're talking to someone who isn't familiar with the Web3 space, they hear Degen, they know it's short for degenerate, and they think, okay, that isn't a very professional name. That isn't someone we'd like to partner with. But I think for brands inside of Web3, and for all intents and purposes, anyone that we were to partner with, I don't think it's much of an issue, honestly. But for Degens, I can completely understand it, right? Like having a brand name which doesn't have any secondary connotations to it is probably the best bet. But we've developed Xerix Degen and built out had a lot of product awareness under this name, so I probably can't really see us changing anytime soon.
Yeah, I think it's all about how you brand it, right? Like obviously it's got the word Degen in it, but I think if you can brand it and package it properly, like I think you'd be able to kind of get it across to someone who I guess doesn't like the word Degen.
That makes sense. So, Chris, do you have any more? We are running up in the hour mark right now. Chris, you have more questions?
I got a few,
Oh,
but
it's peanuts.
I got a few, but I have a hard out today. So I gotta go soon. I'll ask one more question and then we can conclude the show. Um, are you bearish on the short term overall market, like the NFT market? Like, how do you think the rest of this year is going to look like?
Yep, I would say yeah, I am bearish. I actually put out a Twitter thread recently about this. Oh, I think it was just a Twitter post about this. But in general, I sort of see NFTs as probably one of the most speculative and risky asset classes that exist. And I think for investors to even think about putting their money back into NFTs, we need macroeconomic conditions to improve a lot. Because right now, people are scared to buy stocks, right? Let alone crypto, let alone NFTs. So I think until we see some, investor confidence in the market, which will only really happen once we get, a reasonable stock market rally, which in turn leads to crypto rally. I don't think we're going to see much volume flow into NFTs. But as for how long it will be until markets rally and we get some investor confidence back, I'm none the wiser. I wouldn't know.
That's a good answer. And what about you, Alpaca?
Yeah, same thing as him. I think like until we see something innovative or a whole new trend, it's just going to continue going downward. It's just saturated, right? Because as more and more people, I guess the minting bot example, right? Back then, if you had a minting bot, you were cooking, right? Now it's
Yeah,
pretty much
I
become the
remember those.
norm, right? So it's like unless there's something that changes the market rapidly, it's just gonna tend towards like saturation. And so yeah, definitely bearish.
Yeah, no, those
So,
are great answers.
what's ETH price end of year for both of you?
Hold on, I gotta think for a second. I find it hard to say, but I lean towards. I don't know when it will happen, but I think Bitcoin rallies to 27, 28K. I don't know if it's before end of year or not. I don't think it's going to be a sustained rally. I think it goes to 28K and comes back down, to similar levels where we're at now. But I'd say that probably happens before the end of the year. So think if we're looking at 28K Bitcoin, we're looking at 2,400 ETH. I don't think that's where it ends the year, but I think it will reach that price before the end of the year.
Really?
I like that.
2,400? Okay, nice.
Yeah,
I mean, I haven't done the exact proportions, but just off the top of my head, 28K Bitcoin, 2,400 ETH. If ETH, I think ETH relative to Bitcoin will be weak. I think the merge was a really, really strong narrative, and we saw ETH denominated in Bitcoin. That chart we thought saw that go up by a significant amount. I think it hit 0.075. Went straight into the resistance that we saw in the 2021 bull market. I think that ETH will remain weak against Bitcoin probably for the remainder of this bear market. But I mean, I'd love to be proved wrong because I've got more ETH than I do Bitcoin.
What about you, Alpaca?
Honestly,
What's
I'm
your
not the crypto
prediction?
expert here. Ash is the crypto expert, but like definitely, I think like just market wise, like I'd say would probably see an uptrend towards the end of the year, right? Just like holiday period, people spending, just liquidity, in that sense. So yeah, somewhere around the 1,800, 2,000.
Sweet.
Okay. Yeah,
Like
that's not bad.
Well, I think that concludes the show. We appreciate you guys for being on. Again, one more time, if you guys enjoyed the show, we do these Monday through Thursday. Please like this video. Also, liking this video will get this particular video out to the algorithms, so that'd be beneficial, for this interview. But also subscribe to the channel. We'd love to see you guys more often. Somebody mentioned when Ninjalerts come hang out in OXDGen and hang
We'd
out in
love for you
RVC.
guys to come
Yeah,
into RVC.
I would love to, man. That'd be fun. I'd love to kick it and milk off your NFT nerds. That'd be fun. But yeah, Alpaca, Ash, thank you guys so much for joining our show today. I really appreciate it. Learned a lot. Very chill, able just to hang out. If anybody is watching or watching afterwards that's not already following OXDGen, go ahead and follow OX Degen. Ken, you need to follow them too, apparently. But definitely hit that follow.
Of course, of course.
Definitely hit that follow button, and yeah, check them out. You've heard it all here. From the founders and what they're about. We appreciate all you guys, and we'll see you guys. Our show will be running tomorrow.
Thank you guys for having us, and big shout out to both of you.
Yeah, really appreciate it, guys. Cheers.
Thanks.
Hold on. I didn't give him a round of applause to close the show, Chris. Oh, my fault. I almost forgot, man. You guys